Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Sandy if you're new here, and I'm excited. I have a new item I'm adding to my Etsy shop, and it is this bundle of junk journal papers and ephemera and things like that. So let me show you what is in this package. So this is just going to be a quantity of one for now, and I am including shipping. I'm going to do the 2-day priority U.S. Mail on this item. So it's going to include, these are some crochet pieces from the 1800s that I got at an estate sale. And I have gently washed these in some Woolite just to kind of clean them up. But I think these would be fabulous on clusters or on tags or even just on a page. I've also included some of these are vintage, some are new. This one I think is vintage. Some lace, various lace pieces here. And this blue, isn't that pretty? And this white, this is new. That's vintage. And here is a really pretty vintage piece as well. So I love all those. You can do so many fun things with those. I also have these vintage milk caps. Those are neat. I have a vintage little, it's like from their graduation card with their name on it. And here is a vintage tally card for bridge. Here is an old report card from 1943. And in this pack, in this glassine bag, I've put a number of vintage stamps. Most of these are from the early 1900s. So put those in there. 1950s. Some airmail paper. Here's just some vintage newspaper. Here is some tea-dyed doily by me. I tea-dyed that. And then here's another vintage, just a white doily. I have this bird book page. It's vintage. Here is a diary page from the 1940s. Love that handwriting on there. Here are some top value stamps. And here is a tea-dyed envelope. Here is a vintage envelope. And there's some vintage stationery that goes with this. It's in here. Here's a vintage seed packet. And then a bunch of various vintage book pages. So you can put these in your journals. You can use them on tags. You can fussy cut out the images. I thought they were very pretty. More book pages. These are all very vintage, usually the 1950s, 60s, 70s. And here is the vintage stationery that goes with that envelope. And then some other vintage envelope and stationery paper. Here's another tally card. And this one's a used one, but I think that's so fun. And here are some playing cards. And these are also for sale in my Etsy shop if you just are interested in playing cards. And then here is a bridge scorecard. Some more vintage book page. Another tally card. Here's a little Rolodex card, vintage. Here's a vintage railroad kind of ticket. Very fun. Here's an old photograph. Here is a vintage postcard. This is from, I think it's like 1903, I think. Or 1908. 1908. A birthday one, an Easter one. Here's a vintage index card, a blank one. Here's one filled out from a business. 1950s. Here is a vintage graduation card. Very cool. Some more books. These are from the early 1900s. Here's some dictionary page. And this one is from a German, I think, German book page. And then I think we have Spanish in here as well, or Italian. So a few different dictionary pages. Some more vintage book pages. And I picked out kind of ones with different aging on them. So you have a variety of colors. Some have a couple pictures on them. You know, and some of these are brittle. So you'll probably have to kind of put these on tags and things like that. And then I have some vintage shorthand pages. I love those. Those are some of my favorite. Here's another vintage book. A couple books are from the 1800s, but most of them are early 1900s. Some vintage insurance paper. Some more railroad kind of sheets. Another vintage bridge card. Some music paper. Again, a vintage book page. Here's some old stamps. I got this at an estate sale. Had all these old stamps in it. Love that. Have this vintage map. This is from 1972. Very cool. Got this vintage, what is this? Sewing pattern. And then here's a really neat, let's see, what year was this? Yeah, 1940-45. So symphony orchestra program. Some more book pages. This is from a catalog. Love that. This is from an old secretary's book. And it had all these tips on, you know, the roles and jobs of a secretary. And work organization was one. Here's an old cookbook page. And here's just some vintage typing paper and tracing paper, school paper, grid paper, some more letterhead. Here's some various ledger papers, different colors, things like that. I love that one. Isn't that cool? And here is some tea-dyed tracing paper that I did. And these are avocado dyed papers. And some more tea-dyed paper. Here's a vintage little from a bird book with the stamps, and you matched up the sticker to the page. Here's an old vintage flower and bird book page, and then another one. So you can see there's over 100 some odd items in here. Like I said, it's for sale in my Etsy shop. And the link to the Etsy shop is down in the description below. So anyway, I hope there's someone out there that might be interested in this, because I will not be able to use up all of this stuff in my lifetime. So wanting to kind of share that with others. You know, if you don't have a lot of estate sales around you, or you don't like to go doing all that shopping and digging, and it is expensive to like collect all this different stuff. So this way I've kind of done all the hard work for you. So if it's something you're interested in, then I hope you check it out. And I will see you all on the next video. Happy junk journaling.